So, this week's episode is a bit of a continuation of last week's. Let me explain. You may remember last week I used a bunch of donor parts for my ultimate MacBook Pro, and I had all of the perfectly good parts that I took out of that computer that are just sitting around. So what I'm going to do is take the donor computer that I used and the parts that I have left over, and we're going to combine them into a very nice computer. So here we are at the work table with the shell of the computer that we're going to upgrade. So this was what I used for last episode's upgrade with the logic board that I took out of here. So this computer, what we're going to do is put in the logic board from last time's computer, which is perfectly good. It's just the lower end model, so we're going to put that in here. Now this computer did come with 8 gigabytes of RAM and a 1 terabyte hard drive, so I'm not going to touch that. We're not going to put anything else in there. We don't have to. So the only other thing that we need to do to this computer is replace the screen, which is broken. So I ordered this replacement screen, which looks really nice. It was $140. So that's basically the only investment that I've made into this computer, so not too bad. So I'm going to start off by replacing the screen. So we're going to go into montage mode because this is going to take a while. I'm going to replace the screen and put everything back together, and then we'll pick up there. It was at this point that my camera SD card ran out of memory, so I finished the upgrade, which was really just putting in the battery and the hard drive and installing macOS Sierra on it. So I'll just fill you in. It all went pretty well. I did actually have to buy a new bottom cover for this laptop because the one that came with it was a little bit beat up, so I didn't want to use that. I wanted this to be a more high-end product, especially since I'm putting in this very lightly used motherboard and a brand new anti-glare screen. So let's run the numbers on this one. I paid $359 for this computer. The bottom case ran me $18, and the anti-glare display was $145. So our all-in investment was $522. Now keep in mind that this computer would have sold more if I had kept the logic board in it, because you'll remember I took the upgraded logic board out of this one and put it in the other flip that I did from last episode. But the reason I did that is because that computer had a better case and just was in better condition, so I figured it would work, it would go better with that computer. Now with that in mind, this did have the base model specifications, but I still sold it for $700, which gives me a profit of about $80. Now, that's not too bad considering that I used this computer mainly for the logic board putting in last week's episode. I should also point out that since these two computers were kind of linked together, I'll talk about them both together. So, as you saw from the montage from this week, it was a pretty in-depth disassembly. I basically took this computer apart until it was just the top case left. The only thing screwed into that top case was the optical drive. Everything else I replaced and switched around. Now, that's a bit more complicated than it needed to be. I could have very easily sold these computers the way they were. I just wanted to do this for fun. And I'm sure I would have made about the same profits, it just would have been spread differently across the two computers. So had I done that, all I would have had to do was replace the screen, because this computer basically had everything. It had battery, it had RAM, and it had the hard drive. Subtracting the extra work that I put in to try and build my ultimate MacBook Pro last week, this week and last week would have been a fairly simple job, just a screen replacement and just a hard drive upgrade in the old one. So I made it more complicated than it needed to be. Not really necessary, I just did it for the sake of these videos. But overall, I'm very, very happy Between these two computers, I made almost $350, which is pretty decent considering that they really don't require that much work to do. So thank you guys for watching this video. As usual, make sure you're subscribed and hit the little bell so you don't miss any new videos when they come out. I've got a bunch of videos going on right now. It's kind of a crazy time for me. And I'm going to be working hard over this holiday season to try and get you guys some really good content as we go into the new year. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.